everybody, Brian back with you at Strong Tower for another NeuroFit session. And today we're going to use a kettlebell, a dumbbell, or some laundry detergent. So that is something that you need to pick up quick. We're also going to use a resistance band. So if you have a band at home, go ahead and grab your band. This one's going to challenge you a little bit. So we're combining a couple ideas with strength and conditioning. Both some Tabata, the clock back here, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and also some kettlebell, or it could be a laundry detergent container that you're swinging and cleaning and pressing. So you do need a weight that you can press overhead. So what that looks like, if you hinge, clean, and press into the overhead position, should be a weight that you're comfortable getting in that overhead position for multiple repetitions. We're going to do what's called a ladder with the kettlebell, going from 1 to 5 of each movement. There's multiple movements, so we're going to challenge your brain a little bit too on both sides. So 1 to 5 on both sides. Guys, I trust this workout is going to bless your brain, your body, also your mind, your emotions. So be encouraged. You're doing a really good thing for yourself. We've talked about sticking this out, finishing workouts before. So you started the video, finished the video, you got this. So let's get into it. We're going to start with doing some of the joint mobility. You can see I'm on a Naboso mat today. So this is just a textured mat with some little knobs on it, and it stimulates nerve endings, receptors on the bottom of the feet to maintain good sensory awareness of the bottom of the foot. Super important for balance. We just ordered some of these, so if you're local and you're coming in for some group sessions, we're excited to have those in the socially distanced, spaced out areas for you. And also, of course, we're disinfecting them after each use. We're going to have disinfectant wipes in each station for you as well. So I'm excited to be able to offer that to you. Dr. Emily Splickle's a podiatrist that created this mat. She's incorporated into sandals, insoles, matting, and even a treadmill now. So she's making some strides with it and getting some fantastic results. So we're excited about it. She ran a discount 40% off. So we said, hey, we want to utilize that and just help people even more, help them more effectively when they're training in the studio. So we're going to go ahead and do some sequencing. I'm going to have you start by going on the right hand. We're going to do a fist. So we're just making a quick fist, getting the fingers and the hand warmed up. And then we're going to go to wrist. So we're going to glide the wrist up and down. And then we're going to elbow circle. Go both directions. And then we're going to move into a shoulder figure eight. So we're sequencing fist to wrist to elbow to shoulder. Now I want you to reverse that sequence on the opposite side of the body. So we're going to challenge memory a little bit. So if you said we're starting with shoulder figure eights, you got it right. I should really kind of just let you go with these because I'm going to give you the answers here. But you can challenge yourself with some of the sequencing at home. And then if you said we went from shoulder to elbow in reversing that sequence, you would be correct. So we got elbow. Good job. And then we're going wrist. So we're going to glide the wrist. And then we're going to move into the fist. So quick opening and closing of the fingers. Squeeze, pump open, squeeze, pump open. Nice and quick. Good. Let's go into a little bit of bouncing. So up on the ball of foot. Whatever you're comfortable with height-wise here. Just gentle bouncing. Should feel good on the feet. If it doesn't, you want to add in some knee bend. If that feels better without loading the ball of foot, absolutely go to the little mini knee bends and kind of pulsing motion going up and down there too. We're getting some lymphatic fluid, drainage stimulated, getting that lymph fluid moving. And then we're going to go into another sequence. So this one for the spine, we're going to go cervical rotation, low back rotation or circle, front circle, and then also a thoracic or a mid-back circle. So then we're going to do that in reverse sequencing, so you need to remember which one we started with or really ended with, and then go back through the sequence. So we're going to start with head and neck rotations, staying long and tall. Your eyes can look where you're going. So eyes go before the head goes, just a split second before you can look to the direction that you're rotating. Then we're going lumbar circle, so knees slightly bent. We're going to bend to the side, roll through the front, come back up the other side. So side, front, side, and then back up. Remember the sequence here. We went neck, now we're going to the low back, the lumbars. Now we're going back to what we missed is the thoracic spine in the middle. So if you think about your chest bone or your sternum here, going side to side, front to back, we're going to combine those movements for a thoracic circle. So trying to move that sternum around in a circle. Breathing, go the other direction. And then I'm going to ask you, since we did two directions with this one, which one was the next in the sequence? And if you said low back, you got it right. So knees bent, tail tucked a little bit, posterior pelvic tilt. We're going side, front, side, back up, lengthening nice and tall. Side, front, side, and then back up tall. This was a shorter sequence, so we did 3 movements instead of 4. So if you got the last one, hopefully you said head rotation. So we're staying tall, and then looking right, looking left, and working on long spine, breathing, and getting a gentle range of motion where it's comfortable. You just feel like you're warming the neck up there. So from there, we're going to go into lunges and adding knee circles with a band. So we're going to take some load into this one. If you have your band, go ahead and pick it up. We're going to cross it like you're making a figure 8. So X the band, then bring the hands together, and you got the band doubled up. Then we're going to step into it, so you can sit down if you need to, or just step in. And we got band above and below the kneecap. So eye phase lunges, we're going through like a matrix, front, side, back, covering all 3 dimensions of human movement with this just movement pattern as we go forward, side, back. So I'll walk you through them. I want you to knee circle with both knees before we move to the next lunge position. So we're going to go forward lunge first, taking a big step forward. Okay, I'm going to go into a front knee circle. So that lunging leg, let's go ahead and knee circle, go the other direction. The knees, hips, even the lower leg, the ankle are getting some gentle mobility and strength work here. You can intensify these quickly by going up on the ball of foot. So if we go ball of foot on that lead foot, and then knee circle, that's going to make the calf and ankle complex work a lot harder. So up to you if you want to go with that variation. Now I said we're doing both knees, so before we get out of this lunge position, we got to do the back knee, which might feel different. For me, it's not as much range of motion, and that's okay. We're just going to work with the pain-free range of motion that you got. So back knee is bending and extending, rolling through that circle. And then we're going to switch your lunge position. So opposite leg comes forward. Let's lead with knee circles out in front. If you know other neuro drills, like a vision drill here, a near to far, or a saccade that's been helpful in the past, you can stack those in. And then go ahead and go to the back knee circle. And this is one that I need to work on. I can feel that ankle's more restricted. I've actually had more ankle sprains there in the past, so sort of makes sense, but still working through the retraining process and retraining that ankle in different positions definitely affects the knee circle. So important to have a good foundation. Your feet and your ankles affect really everything upstream. So another reason that we're excited about picking up the Mimosa bats for you local people. So from there, we're going to go a side lunge. Outside leg is bent. Inside leg that stayed is straight. We're going to turn the feet in or point them straight forward. And then knee circle on this lunging leg. Great job. Keep it up. Again, if you know a neuro drill like your VOR, and that's not too complex to stack, you can do that. We can go into like humming. So for me, humming is a fantastic warm-up. You do steady tone, or like a do re mi. Let's lunge the other way. We're going to knee circle to the outside leg again. Hopefully you don't have music playing in the background. That probably is messing with it a little bit. And humming, really, if you haven't tried it yet, it's a vagus nerve stimulator. The vagus nerve stimulating it is going to produce some healing effects in the body. It's good for your gut. It's good for your brain. So I've found people with chronic pain add in a little bit of humming and maybe another cranial nerve activation, and all of a sudden the pain's gone. And they're like, why does that work? Well, we just stimulated a brain area or a brain stem area where you needed more activation and stimulus, and it's been chronically deprived of that stimulus. So interesting, right? We're going to go ahead and go 45-degree back lunge. So I'm going to lunge back 45 degrees, bending the back leg, keeping the front leg relatively straight. And then I'm going to knee circle there on that back leg. Nice job. We're staying long and tall through the spine. And then let's go front knee circle. Trying to keep a little bend on that back knee. Still loading that back foot. Good. And then we're going to go back 45 lunge the other way. And start with the back knee doing the circle. Great work. Coming back through, you got this. Good. And then lead leg, we're going to go ahead, try to keep a slight bend in that back knee while you go ahead and circle the front leg. Great job, you got this. Good. Woo. So a lot of knee circling today. We'll go ahead and drop out of that band. And we're going to move into another sequence. So you got to remember this one. Keep your thinking cap on and grab a box quick for one movement. So if you have a box, a chair, or a couch that's not going anywhere, we'll need something for elevation here in the warm-up in a second too. So the hip sequence, we're going to go hip circle. Okay to hold on to something if you need to here. Then we're going to go same side hip pendulum. We're going to set that foot down in front, go into a hip hula. So we're bringing the tailbone around in a circle. And so we got 3 so far. We're going to add 1 more on that side, okay? So we're going ankle circle. So if you said on a reverse sequence, we're going to switch legs and ankle circle, you got it right. Hope you got it right. The first one should be easy. The rest of them may be a little bit more challenging. If you said that we're then going to set that foot down in front, little lunge position, and then repeat the hip hula, you got it right again. And then left side, we got 2 more hip movements. So you can be thinking about what's next. Give yourself a little memory quiz here. And hip pendulum. It's easy for me, I have the whiteboard right in front of me here, so you're like, yeah, sure, Brian, you're really working on your memory. So we're gonna go hip circle. You guys are doing awesome. Still finishing up the warm-up here. This next movement is fantastic. I do want you to be gentle with it though, because it's new to our group training model. We haven't done it much, so if you've done it, fantastic. If not, I want you to go slow. So we're working on the obliques, we're working on the latissimus, we're working on the hips, the glutes, getting some good stretch and engagement. So it's a great core warm-up. It warms up a lot of things. It's kind of a big bang, high payoff kind of exercise that covers a lot of bases that we need to incorporate in a good warm-up. So what we're going to do is go hands on the couch, the chair, or box, whatever's not going anywhere. Get into a nice plank position. And then I'm going to bring my knee up and across, setting the outside of that crossing foot down. And then this is where I want you to stay gentle with the range of motion. So we're going to hip drop and then hip raise. You should feel a little squeeze in the obliques and those side abs as you bring the hips up. So hip drop, hip raise, hip drop, hip raise. You do your pain-free, comfortable, gentle range of motion. Doesn't have to be the same as mine. Maybe it's a little bit more, maybe it's a little bit less. Do what works well for you. We're going to bring the feet back to neutral into the plank position. cross the other foot over, bring the knee up first, cross over, set down the outside of that foot. Then we're going hip drop. So bringing the hips down, hips up, hips down, hips up. We're really good for warming up. We have what's called fascial strings or fascial chains in the body. One's in the front, one's in the side, one's in the back. So kind of three main fascial slings or fascial chains if you want to think about them that way. And what we're doing here is really warming up that side or lateral fascial chain. So fantastic. From there we're going to go into vision circles, so just getting your visual system warmed up a little bit. So what I want you to do here, we're going to take two thumbs out in front of you and then make a half circle on one side and a half circle on the other side. So visually I want to track my thumbs with my eyes. This is fantastic for the eye muscles first of all, but also for lubricating the eyeballs. You can do it with your eyes closed. You can do it as a warm-up first thing in the morning for the visual system. And the next couple repetitions, I want you to focus on something else. So we're going to add in a peripheral awareness component to this. Peripheral awareness is huge for fall prevention. So if I'm looking at the screen here, I can see that there's a kettlebell down to my right, there's a box down to my left, and if I have a narrowing of a peripheral field or tunnel vision, and I can't see what's around me on the ground, obviously you can see that could be a problem. Diseases like Alzheimer's, dementia, there's a narrowing of that peripheral field, and that's where fall risk significantly goes up. So if you know somebody you think is moving that direction, or maybe they've been diagnosed and they're a friend, family member, whatever, spouse, you might want to do some peripheral awareness work with them. And all you can really, one great way to work on that is doing a little bit of finger wiggling or peripheral movement stimulus, where you're just having them increase awareness of movement that's outside of their foveal vision, what they're looking straight at. If they're in here to start, fantastic. You can gradually work on and improve that, expanding it out. It's a habitual thing, like a lot of things, so it's important to work on it, because if you use it, typically don't lose it, but if you don't use it, sometimes we start to lose it. So next time we do a vision circle, I want you to pay attention to how your peripheral field changes. So as you move the eyeballs around in that circle, we're now going to pay attention to, yes, the thumb and tracking it with your eyes, but more than that, think about how your peripheral awareness is changing. Out to the right as you do the right half of the circle, out to the left as you do the left half of that circle. So raising awareness of that can be a fantastic thing for strength, flexibility, and what we're about to do, strength training. So that's why we're putting it in the warm-up. From here, we're going to go into Tabata. So 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. The first thing I'm going to have you start with is a forward back walk jog combined with a side step. So every time we rotate from 20 seconds into a 10-second rest period, if we were doing side steps for 20, we're then going to go into a forward back jog for 20. So we're working some different areas of the vestibular system, and when you're ready, here we go. We got 20 seconds on the clock. So first round goes side steps. You go at your own pace. Make sure the floor is clear around you, of course, and maybe even think about working on your peripheral vision while you do this. Good. We got 5 seconds. Awesome job, guys. Good. Whew. Good. If you got your water handy in these 10-second breaks, feel free to grab a sip of water. We're going forward, back, jog. Ready, go. So jogging forward, pause, and come back. You can walk these. You can jog them. If you have more space, you can cover more ground if you'd like to. Good job, good job. You got this. 2, 1, and rest. Nice, good. The Tabata format, if you've done it with us before, you probably know it's 8 rounds. So we're gonna get 4 of each here. So we're back to side steps when you're ready. So side stepping out. I wanna keep a little bit of a posterior pelvic tuck here, keeping the spine long and tall. Again, if you wanted to add in some peripheral stimulus, you can wiggle the fingers and see if you can expand back with the hands to reach that peripheral vision a little bit wider. Good job. Whew. All right, 3 rounds done, 5 to go. You got this. We're going forward, back jog again. Ready? Here we go. Good. So funny, just word from our almost 2-year-old. She sees us sometimes going forward, back in the house because we try to do some vestibular stimulus, and she's learning it. So it's really kind of cool. She'll say back and then walk back with me, and she gets probably almost as much of a kick out of it as I do. So side to side step again. Here we go, you guys got this. Good. And then we're not just working the anterior canals in the inner ear, we're also working the posterior canals as she's moving backward, as you're moving backward. So really important for both healthy development and maintaining healthy movement capacity. So we're going forward, back again. Good. You can get creative with this stuff if you're feeling confident in your movement capacity, your peripheral awareness. You could start to add like a tennis ball toss and catch into these. If you're outside, you want to take this format outside. There's plenty of Tabata timers on smartphones or YouTube. You could Tabata timer, go out, find a nice gentle incline at a park, do some hill work, going up, down, obviously checking your lane first. So what checking your lane means is basically you want to walk the path that you're going to take, whether it's sideways, forward, back first. Make sure there's no nice big potholes, divots in the grass. So safety first, of course, if you're doing that. So go forward, back again. Here we go. You got this. Whew. Good way to push. Way to work in 3D today. You live in 3D, so you should train in 3D, right? You want to go in every plane of motion. You got 3 main planes of motion. So we want to work in all 3. Great job. Whew. So that is the first set of Tabata. We knocked out 2 exercises. The next one we're going to work on is a kettlebell windmill. So you need to be able to clean, press, and bring that bell up. If it's laundry detergent or a dumbbell, you can use a hand weight for this. It's absolutely going to work. It should be comfortable to be in this overhead position. So I'm going to walk you through the windmill a second. I'm going to stay in frame here. So we're going to go ahead, hinge, nice flat spine, abs engaged, bracing the abs first, then clean, bring the weight up to the shoulder. Once we cleaned it, we're going to press it, lock the elbow. We're then going to turn the feet away from that shoulder that has the weight in it. So feet go away, both of them turned at about a parallel angle, so the feet are parallel here. From there, I'm going to step off this mat so I can get a little bit wider base. I'm going to reach my free hand down the front leg, pushing my hips back. And if we get to here, and then come back up, that's fantastic. You do the range of motion that feels good. So we need tummy braced, abs locked in, push the hip back, and then stand it up. That weight should be right over the bottom hand. So as you settle into that windmill, we have one hand stacked over top of the other. Good. Come back up. And we're going to go 5 of these. I think that's 4. We're actively pushing this back hip back towards the wall behind us and then coming back up. Really nice work. Good. We're going to settle that weight back down to the shoulder. Whew, it's making me work a little bit. And then go ahead and set the weight down. Good job. From there, we're going to clean, press back up on the other side. So hip hinge, firm abdomen, clean that weight up to the shoulder, turn the feet away. We're going to press. Again, wider base here. We're going to work that front hand, free hand down the front leg, and one hand's right over top of the other. Drive the hips back up and through. Again, think about this back hip, the one that's loaded more with the weight, pushing back behind you. So we're in a nice hip hinge, coming back up. Again, you do the range of motion that's comfortable for you. These should feel good. Really nice strength mobility combination for the shoulders and hips. So I'm working a lot of shoulder stability. I'm working hip range of motion, getting a nice stretch on this back hip, especially if we're really focusing on pressing the heels to the floor, pushing that hip back behind you. Good, so that's 5 and 5. Bring the weight back down. Whew. It's the first set. So we're gonna do 2 sets of 5 with the kettlebell windmill. Then we're gonna do a couple sets with a toe raise to a squat drop. So I'll walk you through that one. We're going up on the toes, so adding some height here, and then dropping into a squat. We're gonna do 3 of these with 3 different foot positions. So I'm gonna go 3 toe raises. This could also be a little jump. So if you're comfortable doing a little jump, you can. Otherwise, stick with the toe raise. We're gonna go 3 toe raises into a squat drop, and then do that 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, squat drop. I want some firmness here in the catch. I don't want a soft catch where I go here, then I drop more. I want to just stick my landing spot with the knee angle being solid, almost locked in that knee bend. So we can go in toe raise again, up, 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 drop. Firm, stick the landing, good. 3 up, 2, 3, drop and stick. Nice job. That's with feet forward. Now we're gonna turn the feet out. So we're working on, again, 3 planes of motion, and working in all 3 planes, preparing you for daily life in those 3 planes of motion. So we're going 3, I think I did 4, drop and stick the landing. Good, still feet turned out, knees can push out a little bit here. So 3 toe raises, drop and stick. Nice job. 1 more, here we go. 1, 2, 3, drop and stick. Good. So if we did feet neutral and feet out, what's coming next is my least favorite, and that's why I saved it for last. So for me personally, I don't have quite as much range of motion here in the ankle, and then that impacts, just like we talked about in the warm-up, everything upstream. So the hips and knees actually feel a little bit tighter, just wonky here. So you do the range of motion that's comfortable for you. If you are doing jumps and drops, I would encourage you on this one just to stick with the toe raise to feel it out on the first one. You can add more to it. If you do feel comfortable here, you can do the jumps again. So first one, we're going 1, 2, 3, or 4, and then drop, still feet turned in. Left one wanted to go to neutral. We're gonna go up, try to keep those feet turned in, 1, 2, 3, and drop, stick the landing. Good. 1 more here. So 1, get up on that ball of foot, 2, 3, drop and stick. Nice job. Awesome. So we're going back to the windmill. Got 5 repetitions on each side. I'm gonna grab a sip of water quick. I'm gonna do the same. Way to knock this out. So good strength work today. Benefits of strength training, a lot of guys know, but increased lean muscle, increased bone density. You're actually, through what we do with the peripheral nerves at the end, impacting on bone density too by keeping the nerves mobile and healthy. Other strength training benefits, diabetes prevention, you're impacting how your body responds to and stores glucose and glycogen for energy. So it's huge. You need to be doing this. Way to stick with it. Here we go. So we're going clean to the shoulder, and then we're going to turn those feet away. Think about parallel lines established with the feet. Get that wider base. We're going to press the bell or the weight up. So dumbbell, laundry detergent overhead. We're going to reach the free hand down that front leg, push the hips back, drive through the heels. Woo. A little bit of balance work here too. So push the hips back and then come up. Nice job. 2. Good hinge in the hips. 3. Good. Staying solid in that top arm. It should be like a bar. Elbows locked. 4. Way to breathe. And 5. Good. A little puff breathing can be good. So deep inhale through the nose. Some puff exhale through the mouth. Let's go to the other side. We're going to hinge clean. Bring the bell to the shoulder, turn the feet away, parallel with the feet. Feet are turned away from the weight. And press through the shoulder. Hinge, push the hips back. And back up. So a little kind of like the letter P. Puff breathing. And coming back up. And actually make the session, the strength work a little bit more intense. With some great brain benefits, respiratory benefits to that type of breathing. Good job. And driving the hips back through to tall standing. We got one more. Whew. And we'll go ahead and set the weight down. Great work. So from there, we're going into those toe raises again, into the squat drops. So on the second round here, I actually want you to get into a couple different foot positions where one's in front of the other, and we'll try the squat drop here. So if you find the range of motion's a little bit less, or this was more comfortable in a neutral stance and you want to stick with that, totally fine. But let's go ahead and start here. We'll do the first one, feet turned in. So we're going to go 2 of each here, and 3 toe raises again. So 1, 2, 3, stick and drop. Good. 1 more in this position. 2, 3 up, stick and drop. Good. Turn the feet to neutral. Still have that lead leg forward. Unless you feel more comfortable in neutral stance, then stick with that. Stick and drop again. Load the quads, the glutes. As you stick and drop, firm landing. Great job. Whew, here we go. Feet turned out. All right, 3, 2, 3, stick and drop. Good. 1 more in this position. Then we're going to switch your lead leg. Okay, stick and drop. We're going other foot forward, feet turned in. Get the tough one over with. At least for me, you might find a different foot position. It's more challenging, but we're going up, toe raise. 1, get to that ball of foot. 2, 3, stick and drop. Nice. Let's do 2 here. 1, 2, 3, up. Stick the landing. Good. Nice firm landing. Feet to neutral. So point them toes straight forward. Here we go. Up on ball of foot. Get up, push those toes into the floor, and stick drop. Good. Here we go. Second one, ball of foot, and nice firm landing mechanic. Good job. So feet turned out. Up for 3, and stick the landing. Nice job. Up for 3, and then stick the landing. Good job. Woo! Awesome. So what we have left is the ladder. So grab a quick sip of water. I need to quick wipe the sweat off, so way to get after it. Hopefully you're sweating along with me here. And I'm going to walk you through the sequence for the ladder. So a lot of sequencing today. What we're doing is a swing, a clean, a press, and a squat. So 4 movements again. So again, working on just a little bit of short-term memory, working memory here. And we got swing, clean, press, and squat. So I'll walk you through the movements. We're going to pick the weight up with one hand. Again, could be laundry detergent. Might want a little bit wider base. Just make sure you're clearing in between the knees if you're using something like laundry detergent or a bigger kettlebell like this. And you could also use a dumbbell. So all these movements can be done with a dumbbell too. So we want good hip hinge, pushing the hips back, weight to the heels. We're going to pick up the weight slightly in front of you. From there, we're going to hike the weight back, accelerate up with the hips. That's the swing. The second one's the clean. So the second swing with the hips, or the hip hinge, we're bringing it up to the shoulder. So first one's a swing, weight goes out in front. Second one is a clean, and that's coming up to the shoulder. Then we're pressing that weight overhead, like we did in the windmill, back down to the shoulder. So that's the press. Then we have the squat. So hips down and back, stand long and tall, bringing the hips through, and that's the squat. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, working in ladder format. First, 1 on the right, 1 on the left, 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and so on. So we got the sequence down. We're going to get after it when you're ready. When I'm ready, I guess. So we got this. Here we go. We're going swing, clean, press, squat, one time on the first round. Ready, set, here we go. So hips accelerate and clean. Good, press. You can watch that weight go up overhead, so if you like to look towards that weight, sometimes that's helpful. We're gonna switch hands then. Switch hands, swing, clean to the shoulder, firm with the feet into the floor as you press, hips engaged on that press. Then we're pushing hips down and back into the squat. Nice, we did one each. So we're going to 5, switch hands again. So this is 2 each, 2 swings. 1, 2, nice job, 2 cleans. 1, and 2, 2 presses. 1, back to the shoulder, and 2, 2 squats. Here we go. 1, and 2, good. Alternate, let's go to the other side. So swing, hip hinge, hips accelerate, that's 2. Up with the clean, 2, up to the press. 2, you got this, here we go. Settle hips down and back, and 2. Let's go ahead and set the weight down quick. I'm gonna get away from this shelving unit that we moved behind me here. So we're moving up to 3 when you're ready. I'm gonna also show you, let's go a little bit of an angle here so that you can see side view profile, how the hinge looks. So pushing weight back, as I pick up the weight, I'm settling into the heels already. From there, 3 swings. Hips accelerate, good. Long and tall at the top, up to the clean. So 2 and 3 on the clean. Then we have the press, 1, 2, and 3. Watch the weight up and into the squat. Heel driving, or keep in contact with the whole foot. 3 squats. Switch sides, we're gonna switch hands. Hips accelerate on the swing. 2, 3. On the swing and the hinge, I'm waiting for that kettlebell to come back down so that my armpit starts to close down. Then I hinge. So I don't want to hinge early when the weight's out here. More stress on the back. I'm gonna wait for that arm to reconnect, then go into my hinge. Okay? So up with the press. 2, way to work, you got this. 3, then we're going squat. So hips down and back. Heel drive it. 2, 3, and sweating now. Switch hands. We're going 4. 1, 4 swings. 3. Again, wait for that weight. Wait for the armpit to start to close down. And we're going cleans. This one's a little bit more vertical. So path of that weight should be floor to ceiling, whereas the swing is more floor to wall in front of you, back towards the floor, and then wall in front of you. Here we go, 4 presses, 2, 3, and 4. Nice job. You got this. 4 squats, 2, 3, 4. You notice I'm not puff breathing anymore. Let's go 4 swings. Other side, 1, 2, wait for that bell, or dumbbell, or laundry detergent, and 4, then we're cleaning up. Good. Feeling it in the hips. Buttocks muscles are getting stronger, I hope. Good. Way to push through. Those are drivers of motion. Important to have strong glutes, hamstrings, quads. Good. I think that was 4 on the press. Just make sure, and then let's go 4 squats. 1, 2, you got this. 3, push the floor away. Come back up tall. You do the range of motion that works for you. So if your squat is here, good. If your squat is here, good. I'm happy with that. Happy that you're moving under load. So way to go. Switching sides. Here we go. Round of 5. Kettlebell swing. 1, 2. Wait for the bell or the weight. 3, 4, and 5. Good. Up to cleans. So more vertical momentum now. Use the hip drive though still to accelerate that weight to the shoulder. That's 4. You got this. That's 5. Let's press. Here we go. 1, 2. Letting the elbow come down. Elbow reconnects to the ribs. And then driving back up. 3, 4, and 5. Good. Here we go with the squat. 1, 2. You got this. 3. Good. 4, and 5. Good. Last 5. You got this. And then we're going to set the weight down. Work on cooling it down. Switch hands. Here we go. Hips accelerate. Firm abs. Wait for the weight to reconnect. Almost back to the legs, and then we're hinging back. I think that's 5. We're going cleans. Here we go. Again, think vertical momentum now. Floor to ceiling. Use that hip hinge and a little knee bend to accelerate that weight up. That's 5. We're going to press. 1. Being aware of where that weight is overhead, especially if you got one that's challenging you a little bit. Whew. Way to finish the ladder. Ladders are like a gift that keeps on giving, right? Here we go. So hips down and back. 2, you got this. 3, good. 4, whew. 5. You're like, Brian, no, the gift is the dark chocolate or the coffee at the end of the session here, if you're doing it in the morning. So, whew, way to go. Finish that ladder. Awesome job. Go ahead and grab a sip of water, and we're going to cool it down. I'm ready for a cool down. All right, so you need something that you can do either vibration or soft touch with in the nerve glide section today. So that could be your hand with soft touch. It could be a tissue if you want something that your brain's going to pay a little bit more attention to, getting outside of your own nervous system. Something like a piece of paper or a tissue is going to create a little bit more stimulus, because your brain wants to know when an outside object is touching you from a safety protection standpoint. So the other option for me, I have a Z-Vibe here, and it's just a small high frequency vibrating device that I'm going to run on the back of the leg while I do nerve glides. So if you have either a electric or a battery powered home vibration unit, fantastic for combining with nerve glides. I get way more out of my nerve mobility work when I'm doing it with vibration versus without. So I'd encourage you to try it out sometime, even if you don't have something handy right now. Grab your band again. We're going to go into some low back circles, just a little bit of load. So we're going to go ahead and strap across the shoulder and then go down to the other foot. So lengthening that band out, opposite foot to shoulder. Then going to lunge into the side where the foot is banded, and then bring the outside of the band, it would look like this, bring it inside the knee. So we're going to pull that part of the band inside the knee. From there, a little bit of pelvic tuck. We're going to go side, relax the shoulders, gently through the front, come back up the other side. I'm going to go into extension, so if this feels good for you, good. Otherwise, just stick with the forward movement, back extension, and then coming back up tall. And then go the other direction. So starting with extension, and then rolling through the other side to the front, and then gently lengthening the spine and coming back up. One thing that I find really fantastic about this joint mobility work is you're in charge of your own body, you're in charge of your own nervous system. So for me, I'm not wanting to rely on a chiropractor for alignment. I don't want to trust that somebody's outside manipulation on my nervous system is going to be the safest, most protected, and best thing. If I can learn spinal lengthening techniques, spinal restacking techniques, and spinal gentle mobility techniques that help me feel great and maintain my own alignment from inside my nervous system, that's how I want to work personally. So nothing against chiropractors. There's some fantastic ones out there. I've gone to one myself in the past for acute issues, and sometimes they do help speed up the healing process and stimulate the healing process. But also don't want you to discount things like low back circles, thoracic glides, because that can help you actually stabilize and control your own alignment. And I just think, like, we get to know our own bodies and we can do things naturally internally. It's much better doing it actively and internally versus passively and externally. So we're going to go ahead and go to the other side, low back circle, and get off the soapbox. We're going to go side, front, side, Lengthen back up tall. Oh, forgot the back half. We're going to go extension if that's comfortable for you, and then coming back up. Same thing going the other way. So extension first. Again, if that feels good, we're in that side position, rolling through the front, and then coming back up nice and tall. Good. So low back circles. For me, those feel amazing in the warm-up and the cool-down. Like to incorporate in both. Got my spot here to disinfect post-workout. And next ones we're going to work on are hourglasses. So thinking long, tall spine, feet in neutral here. And then we're going to bring the hips around one way, head the opposite direction. Think about lengthening through the crown of that head. And we're going head opposite from where the hips go. So if hips go to the right, head goes to the left. Hips go back, head goes forward, and vice versa, okay? So you can go super slow with this at first to get a feel for where everything should be, and also to maintain a feeling of lengthening through the crown of the head in each component part of that hourglass. Then speed it up. So slow first, add speed or load as you're feeling comfortable with it, as you're able to. All right, so for nerve glides today, we're going to work on either skin stimulation on the back of the leg. So somewhere from hip to knee. If you're comfortable with the range of motion and you can reach the lower leg without exceeding a 3 out of 10 intensity, then you can do some stimulation for the lower leg. But again, only if that feels good and it's feeling gentle, not too intense. So first one, I'm going to pull my toes up and then swivel the bottom of the foot to the outside, trying to pull my pinky toe up and my big toe down. So tipping this way, or eversion. From there, in my vibe unit, I'm going to bend forward until I get a 3 out of 10 stretch. I'm already there, so I'm going to provide some little bit of pulsing in the foot while I put some vibration on the back of the leg. If you're not doing vibration, you might be rubbing, just doing some light sensory stimulation, light skin touch there. And then, again, if you're comfortable with the range of motion, you can work down behind the knee, maybe into the lower leg, but try not to exceed a 3 out of 10 intensity on these. So a little bit of foot movement, we can add some knee bend and straightening into this. Good, so come out of that. We're going to do the same foot forward, hinge, again, pull the foot up. Now turn the pinky toe down towards the floor and the big toe up towards the ceiling. So again, hinge to find your 3 out of 10. You might be doing skin stim, might be doing some vibration, and then working into a little bit of knee bend and extend here, so get some movement in there. Let's go in and out of the hinge a couple times, so bending forward, standing it back up, bending forward, standing it back up, maintaining that foot position, pinky toe down, big toe up. That's key. That's going to highlight the sural nerve, which provides sensory information for the outside of the lower leg and the outside of the ankle. So really important to know where that outside of the ankle is in space. It's the most common ankle sprain position, is this lateral sprain. And a lot of times people lose the sensory mapping from that area after an ankle sprain. So remapping it and doing some sensory work there. If you need to sit down to rub, you could rub and then do the nerve glide. That's also a fantastic combination. You don't have to do them at exactly the same time. So then we're going same thing on the other leg. Go ahead and pull the toes up. Swivel the foot so that big toe is down, pinky toe is up. For eversion, come down. Find that 3 out of 10 stretch. You can add in some skin stim. You can add in some vibe to it. Great job today. Whew. And this one is working on the tibial nerve, which is motor drive or movement for the calf, helps that calf muscle activate, and also the muscles here on the bottom of the foot through the arch. So really important for your pushing off in gait when you're walking, when you're running. Really kind of a key nerve to keep healthy and mobile. So There's the tibial, then we're going Searle again, that one for the outside of the ankle. So we're going to pull the foot up, pinky toe down, big toe up, swiveling that bottom of the foot, scooping the foot in, bottom of the foot turned in. And then 3 out of 10, and we're going to go ahead and provide, again, gentle stim, whether that's skin touching, be gently swiping a sweat towel on there. And you guys did fantastic today. That's what I got for you. Awesome job. Look forward to seeing you soon.